Hello and welcome to my channel GreenLion Goddess Tarot. This is your daily reading for the 27th. So let's see what is going on. Definitely feel a bit exhausted after that eclipse yesterday. It's action stations though for the 27th with the King of Wands and the Knight of Wands. So it's time to put something into action or to get really motivated and to be doing things. So let's see what else we've got coming through. Star wants to be part of this today. 5 of Wands, the Star card and the 5 of Swords. And we have the 2 of Swords. Okay. So let's see what is coming in. Star is coming in. Okay, Star is sitting on the Star card. That's just what's happened. It's going to be one of those obstructive readings because we have, I think he's hungry, but he doesn't know I've already given him food. Anyway, the 2 of Swords shows that there's some sort of indecision about an action that's being taken or needs to be taken, something that you've been quite motivated about, but there's a little bit of conflict around. And even though it feels like you're being really strongly guided in one direction, it still feels like no matter which way you go, there's going to be some kind of conflict around. And so this could be in a conflict, this could be conflict with somebody else. It feels very much like you're testing the waters or you're being challenged, or perhaps you're putting feelers out there, you're challenging yourself to grow and try out something new or do something slightly, where you're just trying to kind of see where you're at with something. But it definitely feels like, it feels like there's, here we've got both cats now. Speak of the conflict. And then Star just knocked the 2 of Swords off, and underneath was the Devil. So this could be just a little bit of like gnarly energy coming in. Absolutely. He's like, this is my space, go away. And he's telling her to go away. So this Knight of Wands has just come from a duel or a challenge with the 5 of Swords and is saying, I need a little bit of healing after that. I need some healing after some kind of conflict or challenge. And he's like returning to the King saying there's strife. There's strife, and when there's people that are not agreeing, or there's parts of me that are not agreeing here, and the King's very much like, what am I going to do about this? These people are fighting and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. There's conflict, there's competition, something that even might have been a friendly energy but went wrong. It's sort of like something, there needs to be some kind of reporting or returning back. Something got hurt or injured and it wasn't meant to be that way. So that it created some kind of conflict, and peace needs to be resolved within this conflict, and action needs to be taken. And it's this sense of, what do I have to do? The 2 of Swords is like, do I trust my intuition? Do I trust my logical mind? Do I try and appease one energy, or do I try and people please another? And it might feel a little bit like you're stuck between the two. Like this Star is stuck between these 2 5s here, which represent conflict. And it's very much that, you can't please everybody. You've got to almost pick a side here. But the King's saying, I don't want to pick a side. I want to try and find a solution that works for everybody. But it's just one of those tricky ones. So it's potentially something that's being shown to you that is like, it's not the easiest thing to solve. There's a bit of conflict around with it. And it's like, ultimately what they're showing me is it's this interesting part of the South Node of letting go in Libra. It's like I'm seeing both sides, and do I want to, it can be letting go of things like people pleasing, indecision, somebody putting themselves first, somebody being a little bit one-upmanship, somebody being a little bit like, I'm just sorting myself out and not considering anybody else. And this is where these things start rising up, and it's like, oh, okay, I can see that's it's not fair. There's something that feels not fair. There's warring energies here. And so it really is up to whoever this King of Wands is, that they're getting the message that there needs to be a choice or a decision that is handed down and made, and action needs to be taken here. So I really feel like, for most of you, you are the King of Wands. It's like understanding that you have to step into some sort of leadership role. It might even be that you've got friends that are fighting, or people that just aren't getting on in your world, or it's just seeing that somebody's just acting selfishly, or I am also perhaps in the opposite going, well, I can't please everybody, so I have to do what's right for me on the opposite foot of that. So it's very complicated. It's like you're caught up in the entanglement of relationships and what is actually not really working here. And it's showing you where there is conflict and what the pattern is and what is the South Node is saying, do you really want this pattern in your life anymore? Or is it time to let it go? And that's potentially the choice that comes in. So, yeah, highlighted conflict, feeling in between, stuck in between those energies, whether it's inner conflict or outside conflict, external conflict. And definitely you're getting the message here that action needs to be taken, or some kind of action that you thought you'd already taken to appease the situation has actually made it worse. And so now it's like still action needs to be taken to try and calm a situation down and try and make a decision. And it is actually really interesting with this Aries. The King of Wands is the Aries, and this is Libra energy. And it's like, it's this very Aries Libra axis opposition that is at play here. So if you're a Libran, you might be having clash with an Aries, and vice versa. So, or, but it doesn't, there's a lot of fire and air here, which means that it could be some quarrels and some words said, but it's not very grounded. So perhaps the approach is what's missing here is the pentacles. There's no pentacles. The only water that we're seeing seems to be blocked off. So, or it's something that we need to get to from the higher connection. So it's like trust spirit, ground down, and then work out what's going on here. Where is something unfair? Where do you have to consider somebody else? Where do you have to put yourself first? And it really feels like that's the answer. And just as I said that, the cats have kind of settled down a little bit more. They've grounded down. So, yeah, it's interesting, but it's really just a pattern is revealed about a relationship that is something you might think, right, I want to work with finding a solution to this, and something needs to be appeased in some sort of way. So in a way, this is a good thing that it's come up, because it's showing you very clearly a pattern, but at the same time, might not necessarily feel great. So that's just this South Node in the Libra Aries, the eclipse in the Libra Aries axis, just shaking things up a little bit when it comes to relationships. So there might be a little bit of turbulence around this day, but like I said, the answer is in what's missing, which is the grounding down and the emotional connection, and all going up to spirit and going back in and checking in with yourself. So that is the reading for the 27th. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Love to read your comments, and take care.